Hey YouTube, this is a follow-up video to my earlier video when I picked up this Trek Fuel Exe 9.7. In that video I talked about some things that were different on the bike from Trek. Mainly SLX brakes, the 7120 series, and a Dior cassette. As you can see here, I've upgraded this bike to be full XT with the 8120 brakes, the XT I-Spec shifter. You can see those XT 4-piston calipers down here. And then, of course, on the drivetrain side, I've gone with the XT rear cassette. There's not normal cranks on this. There's no need to change that. I did run across these XT platform pedals. Jumped on those just to complete the build. I don't usually run platforms, so given that I didn't have a preference and they were on sale, I went ahead and jumped on those, and so far I've been impressed. Got about 35 miles on the bike so far, just little demo rides, several demo rides, everything from the neighborhood to the local park. Went to an area where guys ride dirt bikes, tried some hills, very steep, quick climbs to a little bit more sustained. Will say that the bike has thoroughly impressed with its ability to come in with some boost. But don't kid me, you're still working. You're still, pedaling. You're still getting a little bit of a workout, but you're not getting killed. You're not ending up at the top of that hill ready to keel over and needing a minute. And you know what, guys, I'm a big guy. This is an extra large frame. I'm 6'3", 250 some odd pounds. I'm not the guy I was when I first started mountain biking years ago. When I was younger, I was more into the cross country, more into the exercise component. I've noticed that my bikes over the years have gotten to have more travel, and then I'm more likely to use them at bike parks with lifts. So this bike, the idea behind it was getting me out on some trails I used to love that don't have lifts, where I'm not, I'm not really working as hard as I was with the Remedy. You guys will see RT86 rotors on this. Those are the XT rotors. I went ahead and converted those over. I actually ordered 180 and 203 rotors from eBay, and some guy shipped me RT76 takeoffs that were all scratched up. Totally got scammed. Went ahead and put in a return from eBay. But I had these rotors on my Remedy, so I threw them on so that it's a full XT build. But funny enough, I didn't notice in my last video that even though I had the RT66, Dior rotors, they were 203 front and rear, which is not at all what the bike calls for. So I actually had to remove a spacer out of the rear, and lucky I had these bolts from some other work I've done on bikes. I kind of hang on to everything. You never know when you're gonna need it, and sure enough, the shorter bolts were needed for this build. The big long ones that come with those 203 adapters weren't gonna work. So you see a little bit of wear on these rotors. It was nice, they were already bedded in, worked out great for me. I've ran resin for years, so resin, all XT, nothing wrong with that. So far, bike's running great with this XT stuff. You do gain a couple things from XT. I feel like, you save a little bit of weight on that cassette, but here on the calipers, that little screw you see above the pin, which I'll go ahead and point to, that little screw right there, it allows you to adjust the free stroke. And what you can do is when you have brand new pads in, you can pull those pistons back a little bit by loosening that screw. And that lets you keep from getting that, when you first put new pads in, getting that little hang up where it's got a little bit more friction than maybe you'd like until you wear it in. I imagine there's all kinds of other uses for that. That's just the only use I've ever used it for. So this is obviously another one of these reviews where I'm not on camera. I'm just showing the bike, talking about it. This time out by the pool versus in front of the garage. I do have a day up in the mountains scheduled on Monday, which, this video, that's 2 days away. And we're gonna give this a thorough run through on the bike park with the lifts, and then some trails where you got to pedal up. So, there's a comment that somebody wanted to see how it ran with the battery removed. Might give that a try. I definitely have checked it out when it's off. It is pedalable when it's off. You obviously notice that you don't have any boost anymore. It's not as smooth as my Remedy when it's turned off. There is a little bit more friction, but mainly it's probably the weight, but I've never removed the battery. So maybe with the battery out, that teeny bit of friction, especially on like a downhill type run, it's probably going to run great. So I'm thinking about doing one of the runs with the battery out and the system completely turned off, to kind of give you guys some feedback if you ever wanted to use it like that. I don't think that's how I'm going to use it, but we'll see. I've heard this battery's too big to fly with, so maybe that might be a selling feature for somebody, is if you can take the battery out, fly somewhere, and do some downhill runs. But so far, that's an update to the bike, and I'll see you guys in the next video.